sauce. I'm lit forever. Ay, my money counter sitting on my dresser. Pulling with my slimes, stay down the ride, I win never. Shawty treat you wrong, I promise that I could never.
Packard, baseball player for the Detroit Tigers, and you're watching Good Talk.
What's up, guys? It's JJ, Goodies and Two Shoes, and today I'm here with Bryant Packard, outfielder for the Detroit Tigers. How you doing, baby?
What's up, bro? How are you,
man? Good, bro.
Appreciate you having me.
No doubt, bro. I thank you for your time.
Of course.
Special edition of Good Talk. So let's just jump right into it, man. High school, you know, one of the best baseball players that I've seen in person, really. You know, you were getting looks already from professional organizations coming out, which is, you know, that's pretty regular as far as that's concerned.
Yeah.
For elite talent to be getting those looks out of high school. So just kind of talk about that, man. What was that process like for you, and then ultimately, how did you make the decision to further your career to go to ECU?
Yeah. Looking back on it, man, I think if I would have went the professional route, I wouldn't have been near the player I am now. Just because college makes you mature. You know, you go in as a freshman, they beat you down. You know, they make you weak, and then they build you back up for your next 2 years, 3 years, however the way you do it. So I think if I would have went that route from the beginning, I don't think where I would have been. Like I said, it helped me out drastically, and I never thought that out of high school, I never thought I was going to get drafted. You know, that like where I did.
Right, of course.
Obviously, I had to work for it, but you know, just a blessed opportunity, man. It's so cool to be where I ultimately wanted to be. So
yeah, cool. So your freshman year in college, you suffered a relatively major injury, back injury.
Yeah.
And it sidelined you for a while. I think I watched a previous interview that you said about like you couldn't swing a bat from when.
It was like April of 2017 until January of 2018. So I went April, May, June, July, August. I went 7+ months without picking up a bat. So that was detrimental. But honestly, I think that injury was one of the best things ever to happen for me, because I took a step back from being on the field and saw it from all different aspects of the game. How coaches see it, how other players see you play. So it was a blessing in disguise, my injury, although at the time I hated it. But got in the weight room more, got Young's Physical Therapy right down the road, so they helped me out. So yeah. Cool.
So at that time when you were going through that injury and dealing with the injury in your head, was there ever a point that you hit? Like you said, you were suffering through that for 7 months. So was there ever a time in your head where you was like, reconsidering, is this really what I want to do? And just how was that process for you?
Yeah.
How did you get through that time?
Right. Well, I mean, it gets lonely, bro, because the only thing I knew was baseball. I started going out more. I started treating my body worse just because I felt sorry for myself. So then I called my parents, talked to my dad, and he was like, when I was in the Navy, how many times I wanted to quit during boot camp? And I was like, oh, man, that kind of hyped me up a little bit. Talking to my mom, great inspiration. So, of course, I kind of wanted to quit, man, because it hurt so bad. All the stuff I had to do for 5+ months, trying to get myself healthy. So, but in the end, it worked out. But it was hard. It was a rough road, but I'm glad it happened in the end.
Yeah. So, did your relationship with your teammates or with Cliff, did that kind of was there anything that happened in that span that brought you guys closer together, or do you feel like pulled you guys apart just with you dealing with that injury at that time?
Good question. Well, I think it kind of brought us together more because I got to be more of like a jokester, because I wasn't having to do the practice that they were. So, I got to be on the outside. I got to joke around. I got to analyze everything, and that kind of made me more like a coach because I could see how they were performing on the field, and I could give them like a player's point of view. Because playing football, bro, listening to the players, like listening to C.J. Johnson might mean a little something more to you than the head coach. You know what I mean?
Right,
because you got that relationship built with them, and you respect them. Not that you don't respect the coach, but you respect them because they're in your shoes. So I think all the relationships built, a little more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So what was it? So after that point, your freshman year, right? So then you're dealing with that for that 7 months span. Yeah. Then you come back for your sophomore year, and if I'm not mistaken, you get hurt again. Correct?
No. Well, yeah, I did. Yeah, actually, I completely forgot about that. So I think it was like the first month of the season. I hurt my back against Campbell or something. Just tweaked it. So I was sidelined for the 2 midweek games. Can't remember who we played. And then we went to Charlotte. I didn't travel. Stayed back here, went to physical therapy, got healthy again, and then it all worked out.
All worked out. Yeah. So then junior year, senior year, and you just, or what was it, junior year?
Junior, I got drafted. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So
last
junior year. Yeah. So last year, I mean, you just really. That last season that you were in college, man, you just blew up.
Yeah.
You just blew up, and you started getting that national recognition from different sports media outlets, different columns and stuff of that nature.
Yeah.
And then as that popularity grew, then we see what you become today. And I feel like really your breaking out party was, I can't remember what tournament it was, man, but I just remember like you dominated. Which one was that?
Are you talking about high school or
in college? Yeah,
it was actually my sophomore year, but I don't know, man. It was like a 3-week stretch where I don't know what happened. I have no idea. I'm probably never be able to do it again. Mm-hmm. But hey, like 6 home runs or something, and then it just kept building from there. I have no idea what happened. I really think it was all that time off, man. Mm-hmm. Really, like you said, those whole 7 months, I just got to. I got some mental relaxation. My body obviously was building, so I think that all just led up, and I was kind of seeking revenge because I was mad about getting hurt. So
what was that like for you when you're going through that stretch? Are teams and organizations beginning to reach out to you at that point, or is it kind of just like you're in that moment, you're just so locked in, and then that doesn't happen for you until after? So what was
So right when I got hurt, I had no MLB teams talking to me my freshman year, and then my sophomore year, I got more with my agent. My agent started talking to me more about, hey, like you're getting more popular now. Like people are reaching out to me saying they want to draft you, but the number one thing why I didn't get drafted as high as I would have liked to be was just because of my back. So there's always like, oh, Bryant can hit, but that back injury, that might sideline him, that might hurt us in the future. Because think about it, you want to put all this money into somebody that might not even be able to play. You know what I mean? So like in baseball, it's all guaranteed. It's not like football. If you get hurt, and it's not guaranteed, but baseball, it's all guaranteed. So that's basically how.
So you said you were seeking revenge, from the injury. Is that for you motivation, and does that kind of like piss you off still to this day, that knowing that at that time of the injury you were doing what you were doing, but now it kind of affected your draft stock, and then you know what I'm saying? Like, yes, you did have a team take a chance on you, but it was later on in the draft. You feel like you were worth more, deserving a little more.
Yeah.
So, like, how does that make you feel as far as the injury is concerned?
Yeah, well, like I said, the revenge thing, man. I was just so mad having to sit there and watch not my teammates have success. I love watching my teammates play, man, but I wanted to be on the field with them and winning with them, and working hard in the fall, all the crazy workouts they do. That's that's what builds you into the spring. That's what gives you your cockiness and your edge. And I wasn't able to do any of that, so I felt really, felt like an outlier because I wasn't able to do all that stuff, which really sucked, man. But like you said, I dropped to the 5th round. I was always told I would have been higher, and ended up not working out, man. So it was tough. In my junior year last year is really when it wasn't as publicized as much, but that's really when the injuries came back to haunt me a little bit, because the first weekend I was going back for a fly ball, hit the wall and landed on my hand wrong, and ended up fracturing something in my hand. And I tried to play through it, but I was holding the bat with one hand. I shouldn't have done it. I should have just sat out and took my time. But I remembered how bad sitting out last time was, so I didn't want to do that again. And this is something I could potentially have played through. So looking back on it, it hurt me more than it helped me.
But in that moment, I'm sure you're thinking this is make or break time kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you already have that attention is starting to build up, So I'm sure in your head it was just like, bro, I gotta play.
Yeah.
Because they already think I'm not built for it because my injuries or whatever. So I'm sure in your head right then it's just like, bro, I got to.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
you don't want any inclination to the scouts and the cross-checks or whatever that, oh, there's Bryant, he got hurt again, man. He's just a walking injury. So I kind of wanted to just play through it, but can't change the past. So.
Yeah, of course. So let's talk about your first couple of months, in the minors, and how that was for you. So you get drafted, and just how was that process?
That process was hectic, man. I was nervous. you meet with all these teams, and so I met with all these teams in January about this time of last year, and so I met with all the teams or whatever, and there was a few that really stood out to me, and the Tigers. Obviously, I remember Taylor Black. He's an awesome guy. He was like our area scout, so I remember our conversation. But I thought I was going to get picked by some other organizations. So when the Tigers called me, it did. I don't want to say it surprised me. Obviously, I was amazingly happy, but I was just a little thrown off. But because I didn't know as much about their organization as the other organizations, so getting drafted, whatever, went to Florida, signed and everything. And then I was there for like 3 days, and then got sent right off to Norwich, Connecticut.
Okay.
And if you don't know much about Norwich, Connecticut, there ain't nothing going on there, bro. So I get there, had a very interesting house situation. I like to talk about it, but I can't. But
go ahead.
And then
I
can't. But yeah, I get there. I play for like 3 weeks. It was fun, bro. I met some of my like best friends now there. I had a great draft class. And then 3 weeks later, I get moved somewhere else. I get moved to West Michigan, which I'm going out there either, bro. So played there for like a month. I loved it, absolutely loved it. The stadium, there was like 8,000 a night. It was an unbelievable stadium. And then ultimately, I went back to Florida at a different team and played there for like 2 weeks to end the season. So I played in 3 different states in the first year. So.
What was that like for you? Because I'm sure it's hard.
It was weird, bro. I've been here since 5th grade. My dad was in the Navy, so I'm used to moving around. This is my 5th state I've lived in. So I don't know. It was weird, bro. Just being on your own, not being with your family. But I had roommates everywhere I went, and they made it easier because I had a great draft class. They're all really good dudes, so I got lucky.
Yeah, cool. So what is it like? When you're in the minors. Kind of like, not the process, I wouldn't say the process as much, but kind of the treatment from the organization, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure it's very lonely because, you're trying to get to, ultimately you're trying to get to that big stage. So just what is that like, just having to deal with, internal battles that I'm sure you're dealing with, and then external where the organization, they have their certain feelings about certain players, whatever.
Well, it's tough, bro. I mean, when I was in Connecticut, I remember like the 4th game I was there, played a night game, whatever, rain delay, lightning delay, ended up finishing the game, and that was like, it was a place that was 7 hours away. So we get home at 6 in the morning, bus all the way through the night, and that was like a regular thing to them dudes, bro. They were built for it. I'm like, what is going on, man? Because we had to be up the next day at least noon, so that's 5-6 hours of sleep. So that makes it really hard just on your mental, man, just dealing with all that stuff, because you don't fly until you make it to AAA. You don't fly around, and a lot of people don't make it to AAA. So you get really humbled once you're in those lower levels, because they're super hard, man. And my organization is good because they really do care about you. I feel like we have a great owner, great whole organization. So, but usually with all pro ball organizations, if they don't have money in you, then you're just if it works out, great, but if it doesn't, sorry. So the more money they have in somebody, the easier it usually is for them. I'm not saying that about my organization because they're really good with what they do, but with a lot of players it's hard, man, especially making finances. Like we make $12,000 a year, and nobody really knows that. Everybody's like, oh, they're rich. Not really, bro. It's like,
it's tough.
I'm going to have to get a job next offseason, so it's tough, bro.
And like you said, that's something that a lot of people don't know.
They think it's like football, you go straight to the NFL, and that ain't
exactly.
it.
Yeah, so was there a signing bonus? Was that part of it? Okay, so
that helped me a lot.
Yeah, I was about to say, so I'm sure they give you that, and then it's kind of like, okay, and so now you have to kind of start budgeting and
prove yourself. So I invested like almost a good amount of my money. So I'm trying to get into all that, but you kind of just got to live off the $12K, man, a year, Don't try to eat out as much. They give you money for like per diem and stuff, like to go eat, but you got to budget it all, man. Yeah.
That's tough. That's tough. So right now you're in AA Advanced.
So high A Advanced is what it's called. Okay. So that's the step below AA. I'm not technically in it right now because it's out of season. So basically they send you to spring training, and then they they evaluate you and they send you off to wherever they think you should be. So if it's high A, low A, double A, no one gets usually sent up to MLB from my draft class. But
so like, is there any fear on your end to know that really it could end at any time? If the organization is feeling like you're not producing to the level that they want you to be, or maybe like you said, if you suffer an injury. So is there any fear on your part?
Yeah, I mean, of course it's in the back of everybody's mind, man, because in an instant it's just like getting laid off a job, bro. You can just get cut at any time. So that is scary to think about. I try to not think about that kind of stuff, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of dudes just get, cut, ghosted after their first year and have no idea, hit them out of nowhere. And then nobody wants to pick that guy up because he hasn't proved anything yet, you know what I'm saying? So it's tough. Everybody's in a different situation. Luckily for my situation, my parents would help me. I would go and find another job in baseball, because I want to coach.
Okay,
so
cool.
Yeah, I want to coach college. So that would be my next step. So I'd be right back in it, man. Ready to work.
I think when you're at spring training or whatever, are you guys interacting with the MLB, the big league
leaguers.
guys? Yeah. And how is that like? What is that like?
So I haven't been there yet. This will be my first spring training.
Okay.
But what I've been told is, so there's a minor league spring training and a major league spring training.
Okay.
And I don't think they mesh very much. But usually the MLB players are cool. Like I've heard Miguel Cabrera for the Tigers. He's a man. Like that he's gonna be a Hall of Famer and he'll treat you like his teammate on the actual MLB team. So I'm very curious to go and check them dudes out because obviously they're the best in the world. So. I obviously want to meet them and get to know them, so I'm pretty hyped for that.
Yeah, because ultimately those.
It's where you want to be,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Those will be your teammates, hopefully at some point.
Yeah.
So I would imagine that. That's pretty cool though. That's pretty cool. So where do you find your motivation? Like, what do you know what I'm saying? What makes you want to wake up every morning, and go through this rigorous process, making it $12,000 a year, stuff like that. What is your motivation?
Honestly, baseball is all I know, bro. So if I weren't be doing that, I have no idea what else I'd be doing other than coaching, like I said. But my mom's a great inspiration. Breast cancer, she's fighting through that. So she can go through something hard like that. I can go through, doing what I want to do for a minimal amount of money. You know what I'm saying? My dad's taught me the game ever since I could walk. So if I were to give up, I feel like I'd be giving up on him and my parents and everybody that's helped me through the process, man. Like my career at ECU, those were some of the best years of my life, and I feel like I'd just be letting all Pirate Nation down, if I would just give up and quit. So, and also I don't want to, so that's my favorite thing to do is play baseball. So I get to do it for a job every day. It's pretty sweet. Not a lot of people get to do that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's really dope. That's really dope. So you had a couple of teammates get drafted.
Yeah, 6 of them.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but it's a record.
Yeah, big time. So you guys still stay in touch for the most part?
Yeah, so Evan Volva and Jake Washer actually live in town, catcher and pitcher. So I kick it with them about every day, bro.
Okay.
So, Jake Agnos got drafted. He's living in Virginia, but that's my best friend. So I talk to him every day. Turner Brown's here. Spencer Brickhouse is here. So the whole gang, we still all talk to each other, man. We got a baseball banquet coming up on the 1st, I think, so we'll all, get back in touch. It's always fun to go out with them boys. Are crazy, so it's fun to link back up with them.
Yeah, that's what's up, man.
Yeah.
That's what's up. So, for you, what is the 5-year plan right now?
5-year plan?
Yeah.
It's a long one, bro.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully in the next 3 years, I make it to the MLB, and then by the 5th year, probably I'll do like a 6-year thing. So, So my 3rd year, I'd like to be in the MLB, and 6th year, be signing a contract. So you got to be up there a certain amount of time before you can sign a contract. So that would be the ideal thing. So yeah, I guess that's pretty simple, but that's what I would want to do.
Yeah,
it's
always
goal,
good
right?
to have a plan. Yeah. So cool. So what's the personal life like? What you got going on besides baseball?
Yeah, I got my girl. She lives in Virginia, so I go up and down and visit her. She comes down here. Other than that, man, I've been really into yoga lately. I've been doing yoga, a lot of like massage therapy. I spend a lot of money on my body because it sucks. Like my body's terrible because it keeps getting hurt all the time. So I spend all my money on my body. But for now I'm living with my parents in the off season just to save money. So I'll probably do that next off season too. So Yeah, not too much going on, but it's good to relax sometimes because I'm about to be gone for 7 months. So,
Okay, so you want to enjoy that time while you can.
Yeah, I just went to the Bahamas too.
For real? How was that?
Nuts, bro. I don't know how to describe it. Mimosas all day.
Right. Facts. So like, what do you like? Are you big into clothing or anything? Like, what do you?
A little bit. I mean, I'm a big like Lululemon guy. You know Lulu?
Yeah.
I'm big into that. PacSun, you know, anything like that. Tailgate classics. You know, you got healthy kids, everything, man. You guys got a lot of good stuff going on around here. So.
Right. What about your shoes? Like,
I got a little bit of shoe game. You know?
Okay, I see.
Not too much. I'm trying to get more into that, bro. Because like I said, I gotta travel everywhere, so I don't want to be carrying like 10 pairs of shoes with me. You know
definitely. Like, you get your one pair and you're going out the door.
I like my sneakers. So sneakers and Vans. That's about it. I need some boots, man. I need some like bean boots or something. Yeah. But other than that,
go ahead, man. Or you got like you won't got it, man. I know you're talking about the 12K or whatever, but listen, don't let this guy fool you because he'll say 12K. You just heard he say he's investing. Yeah. So that means that 12K.
I ain't got it right now though. It's all in the stocks and bonds.
Tied up, right?
Wait a while.
Facts, yeah. Well, man, I appreciate your time, bro.
Of course, bro.
I appreciate it, man. This has been a special edition of Good Talk. I'm JJ. He's Bryant Packard. After we cut right here, I'm going to get my man to sign a couple baseballs, a couple items for us. And you guys make sure that you're tuned into the page for special offers on those, man. Thanks for tuning in. We're out. Peace. Watching, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Peace.
I got the sauce. I'm lit forever. My money counter sitting on my dress.